Winston loved flags and uniforms, and this is a replica of his Garter banner, which he absolutely loved. This is his study, and we call it the heart of Chartwell because he spent so much time in it.
He used to spend a lot of his sleeping time in it, I gather.
Yes, he had a four-poster bed in this corner. And of course all his books were around him, and you see many of his gifts, the funny little animals, for instance, which he put into the case himself and which we've left there. He loved to have all his family around him. There's Lady Churchill, Sarah, Diana, and Randolph, and his grandson, Winston, and Mary.
And what about the other bits and pieces on here?
Well, there's Napoleon and Nelson, people he admired a lot, and this little animal which was sent to him, I don't know who from. As you can see, it's made out of pipe cleaners, and which he mounted. He would sign letters here and read proofs and so on, but we sat here, and he paced up and down while he thought and dictated, and this desk was where he had his books of reference and where he would stand.
He used to like to work standing up?
Oh yes, either standing up or in bed.
Of course, this house wasn't only a political powerhouse, but it was also a factory. Somebody once asked me what my the strongest impression I had of my father. And if I had to give a snap answer with so many impressions, I'd say how hard he worked. He really worked like I've never seen any other man work, either with their hands or their brain. Long hours, immense concentration. And this place was a factory, because I think it's very important for people to remember, particularly when they visit this house, which after all is large, well, it's small compared to the great houses of England, but it is a large house, and it took, in the palmy day, even in the palmy days before the war, quite a lot of servants to run it. And this was one of the reasons why my mother could never love Chartwell in the carefree way that my father loved Chartwell, because she was always very conscious that they couldn't really afford it. And I remember reading a letter, I can't quote it exactly, but from my father to my mother, say at some time in the 30s, saying something like, "Darling, don't worry about the housekeeping. I shall have 2 more articles coming in before the end of November." But it was on that basis, the basis of 2 articles coming in, the financial position of my father was, until after the war, really quite precarious.
Well, of course, as my father grew older, the whole tempo and pace of the house naturally slowed up with him, and I'm afraid towards the end, the time would sit very heavily on him. Of course, he was lucky in that he could always paint, and that was a great consolation to him. But sometimes he would sit in a very, very gloomy mood, quite sunken in his thoughts. What did he say once? Somebody said, "Oh, you've achieved a lot." He said, "I've achieved a lot to achieve nothing in the end." Nobody quite ever knew what he meant by that.